We're coming at you live. Not really.
No. You're watching the video live, but the video itself isn't live.
Yeah, it was recorded on a day.
In real time.
Yeah.
In real time, no edits allowed.
Yeah. Amon Amarth has 10 albums, and we figured we have to put them in an order. Like, there's no other way our lives could move forward if we don't put Amon Amarth albums in order. So that's what we're doing right now. We did a top 10 Amon Amarth songs. You can check that out. And now we're going to talk about all their records.
They have 10 of them, in case you didn't hear earlier.
Amon Amarth's a great fucking band. And they have a lot of cool albums. But I feel like this was a very easy list to put together.
Yeah.
Way easier than I thought it was going to be.
And then even put in the finalized order, everybody was like, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get this started. At number 10, we have their second album, The Avenger. The thing is with their first, I'm going to say the first two albums, the third album is much better. But The Avengers especially, man, I really don't think there's any sort of standout track on this album.
No.
At all. It's not that it's a bad album necessarily. It's just extremely repetitive, and nothing just really stands out to me. And I know someone could say, well, Amon Amarth has never really evolved, but they found a formula in later albums where they have hits in things pop more. Where this, I just feel like that didn't happen as much. I mean, the opening track, Bleed for Ancient Gods, is alright. The title track's alright, but, for the most part, it's not an album that I would find myself going back to really at all. At number 9, we have their debut album, One Cent from the Golden Hall. And I think this album's kind of in the same boat, but it has a little bit more standout songs. I think Ride for Vengeance is a pretty cool song. Victorious March is a really great one. Without Fear, I like as well. And then, whatever you want to call it, the band Amon Amarth, with their track Amon Amarth, that song's cool as well. So, there's some cool moments on this album. I just think, I would love, in a way, if Amon Amarth would almost re-record some of these songs. Because I think with a modern production, they could sound really well. Because Johan, he sounds fine, but, man, you could tell as you listen to their albums and as they were able to put more into the production of them all and as they got better as musicians, that he grew a lot. You listen to their debut compared to where he is now, and he's the one, in my opinion, that's grown the most.
Yeah.
And that's very apparent here. But there's some solid riffs, and it has some of those, moments that Amon Amarth is known for. Big riffs, lots of melody, a lot tremolo picking, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah. Not a bad album, but not the greatest either. And then at number 8, we have The Crusher from 2001. I think The Crusher is a cool album. Yeah. They started to step into, kind of having hits, bigger hits in a way. I think Master of War is a great song with a really awesome opening riff. A Fury Divine is fucking cool. There are some good songs on here, and the production's much better. It just, once again, compared to other albums, I just think the excitement factor isn't there. Yeah. Number 7, we have Versus the World. This is where I feel Amon Amarth really has started to become the Amon Amarth we know today. Because some of these songs are just huge, they're catchy, and they're fucking mean, Yeah. And I think it's very apparent right away with the opening track, Death and Fire. And Death and Fire is one of their most popular songs still to this day. But that opening is just fucking cool, The drums are just going crazy, and then just comes in with a badass fucking riff. And the vocals on this album are just so much better. They sound better. They're catchier. Everything about it, I think vocally is probably what sets this album apart from, say, The Crusher or the debut or anything like that.
Yeah, I really like the last track. And soon the world will cease to be.
I think the last three songs are awesome. Bloodshed's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When how it's going bloodshed. It's like, it's fucking cool. I like it a lot. And, Versus the World's really good. Where the Silent Gods Stand Guard is also great. It's a cool album to listen to, for sure. It has a little bit more of a rough production, but I think,
it works in this
they
case.
have good songwriting with it. So, number 6, Fate of Norns.
Yeah. Fate of Norns is a cool album. I like, I mean, of course, this is the album that has Pursuit of the Vikings, which is their, almost not arguably their biggest songs. But I think that it kind of almost sucks because there's a lot of other great songs from this album. The Beheading of a King, I really like as a song. Is
great song.
I like basically, again, kind of like you said in the last one, the last 3 songs are all really good with Arson and then Once Sealed in Blood and then the title tracks also.
Yeah,
I
love the chorus to the title track. It's so good.
It's this kind of almost big kind of song, which is awesome. I think when Amon Amarth writes big songs, which they get into with the next couple albums a bit more, I feel like it kind of takes off and production's a little bit better than the Versus the World. Because especially their early stuff. That's to me, I think even more so than any kind of songwriting, that's the thing that kind of holds the early albums back a little bit. Is especially the first album. The first album's good, but it's sometimes it gets a little muddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the band definitely evolved on this album, in my opinion. The songwriting is just so much better, and they had they kind of know who they are really at this point of, of course, style and theme of the lyrics and everything. But also, I just think they start to click a lot better with riffage and all that stuff. Things just go together a lot better on this album. So I really think these next two we have are pretty interchangeable, personally.
Yeah.
At number 5, we have their most recent album, Jom's Viking. I think this album's awesome. I had it a little bit higher, but you guys want to speak about it?
Well, it's the album I think I've other than their first 3 albums. I'll be honest, probably my least experience with those albums. Out of any Amon Amarth albums, I have the least experience with those. But then I'd say Jom's Viking kind of maybe next, because I tried to listen to a little bit here and there, but there's just something about it that, I don't know, kind of production quality. There's not this big, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't have that one song, typically, that they have every album that really hooks me in. They have a lot of really good songs on this album, a lot of good support songs, I think. It's better than, in my opinion, than a lot of their earlier stuff because there are more mature songwriters. But there's nothing, the reason I didn't have this album as high is because I don't think it really just popped for me in ways. First Kill is a good song. At Dawn's First Light, I think is a really good song. But I guess for me, there wasn't that one big, star of the album. There's a lot of really good, support songs.
You see, Raise Your Horns, I think, is a great song. I like the more classic heavy metal influence that's kind of there a lot on this album, which is definitely, you can definitely see a lot with, Raise Your Horns. But I think, other songs like On a Sea of Blood is a very, very cool song, Wanderer. Especially, the very first, the whole first 7 songs of this album is really good. The whole album is good, and then Back on Northern Shores is really cool. And I like that it's a concept album. You know what I mean? There's a story being told, and I think that's cool because that's different from Amon Amarth. They usually just kind of write stuff that's more based in mythology. This is about a story of a particular person. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and what I like about it being a concept album is that I feel like it's music first then story, where sometimes with concept albums I just feel like the story kind of gets in the way of the music and the flow of it, where I feel like all these songs are pretty damn awesome, and it just happens that it's told lyrically all together. I really love the track "A Dream That Cannot Be" with Dora. I think that's just awesome chorus. I like when Amon Amarth gets, I don't want them to do it a lot, but I like when they get a guest vocalist that does clean vocals. I think it just brings something extra to them sometimes. So, yeah. Number 4, we have "Deceiver of the Gods."
You had this one pretty high.
Yeah, I had this at number 2. Deceiver of the God, the title track. Father of the Wolf, Warriors of the North. I think that's some really, really strong songs on this one. And I really like this album because of just kind of where it fits in between, after doing an album like Twilight of the Thunder God, and then before doing an album like Yama's Viking, it was sort of this little period where I feel like both of those albums, and I had Twilight of the Thunder God pretty high. They're very, they're produced very well, and this one was just more rough and kind of it had this throwback feel to it, like it was just a little gritty, and I like that they kind of stepped to the side to do an album like that in between when they're becoming like this bigger band and say, like, you know what, let's go a little bit toward this a little more raw sound with some of the songs, and I really like that bit of a throwback, and the songs are just, they speak for themselves. Shapeshifter, that one song with Whittle in it.
Oh yeah, the guy from the band Hell.
That song was weird. I've never gotten into that song, but
it's a goofy song for sure. I think that main riff it's corny, but it is like crunchy as shit.
And what's his nuts? Johan's vocals are so deep.
Yeah.
In that song.
Yeah. I think the first 4 tracks of this album are just fucking killer.
Yeah.
I mean, Shapeshifter, Father of the Wolf is Loki Falls, and Deceiver of the Gods. Loki Falls is just such a good one, but then We Shall Destroy is such a mean song. I love it.
I also like Under Siege. I think Under Siege is a very underrated song. I especially like the main riff. I like that song a lot too.
Yeah. It's a great album for sure. Number 3, we have Soda Rising.
Boosh.
I think Soda Rising is one of the most consistently strong albums from Amon Amarth. There is not a bad song on here at all. And I think when you look at our top 3 when we were putting this together, I think they are literally all interchangeable.
Yeah.
I mean, we had them in an order, but I could totally see someone saying Soda Rising is Amon Amarth's best album, and I go, okay, yeah, that's totally fine. It starts off with War of the Gods, which is one of their best, but then there's so many underrated songs on here for Amon Amarth. When people talk in terms of the big hits and everything, Destroy the Universe is fucking fast. It's in your face. Slaves of Fear is fantastic.
Such a good song.
Such a great main riff. Such a great vocal delivery from Johan. Live Without Regrets I really love. The Last Stand of Frey is fucking great. It's a slower song, more melodic, atmospheric song for Amon Amarth. For Victory or Death is great. And Beast in My Eye is a great song to, towards the end, just punch you in the mouth. Do Over Dead Man's fucking cool. It's just a fantastic album from start to finish. They did a tour where they played this album in its entirety. When this album came out, it was just them. They played 2 sets. They played a greatest hits set, and then this album in its entirety. I kind of wish I didn't miss that tour, because this would have been awesome to see live, the whole thing. So
yeah, this one has War of the Gods, which is my favorite Amon Amarth song, and then one of my more recent ones, because after listening to this album, I can't believe I forgot about it, which is Slaves of Fear, like you mentioned. And then I like Loki's Treachery. I like that's from what's the first part? The first part's from from Twilight of the Thunder God, because it's part 2. But I like how they kind of did that whole thing, and then really consistent, really fun album. This one. Anything you want to add?
No, pretty much said everything.
Okay.
Number 2, we have With Odin on Her Side.
Yeah.
I believe this is the best Amon Amarth album, personally. And I just say that not only, is this the album that has, the greatest number of hits for this band, but I still think, some of the underrated songs on here are still really strong, like the title track or Herman's Ride to Hell. Loki's Treachery is fantastic.
There it is.
Under the Northern Star and Prediction of Warfare to End the album, I think are great songs for Amon Amarth. They're a little bit different. They have nice epic feels to them. Yes, those songs don't pop as much as Cry of the Blackbirds or Gods of War Rise or Valhalla Awaits Me. But to me, I just feel you don't have some of their later albums without this album. Like, this is the album that just really took them to the next level, because in terms of production, it's like way better. Johan sounds even way better than he did than the previous album, Paid Norns. The riffage is better. You know, they got to a point where now they're like consistently writing hit after hit on an album. And I really just think this is the album that really took them to a whole nother level. They've just been building on that ever since then. So.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, the namestays in Amon Amarths set. You know, Runes to My Memory, God's Force Rise, with Odin. Well, with Odin on Our Side not as much, but like Cry of the Black Rose. There's just a lot of great stuff. I just feel that yes, this album does set the framework for like what, you know, for how Amon Amarth could get there. But then I think they take this jumping off point and go up with it with what our, I guess, collective number one album is, and also was mine as well. So
yeah, number one, the best Amon Amarth album, Twilight of the Thunder God.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
Dude, y'all had this in your number one.
Yeah, just there's like, to me there's just a lot, kind of like what you were saying. I think that there's just hit after hit on this album. I mean, to not even speak about like Guardians of Asgard and Twilight of the Thunder God, which are just arguably two of their best songs they've ever written. But like Variags of Miklagard, which I hadn't really listened to. I'd heard them until the video, and I listened to them. Like, that's a great song. The Tattered Banners Tattered Banners and Bloody Fear.
I love the beginning of that song.
And it's like, I just like, you know, the Embrace of the Endless Ocean's a great ending track. I just feel like this is the album where they kind of took everything from before and just kind of put it and made it all work. And it's just, it is an incremental jump. You could maybe argue from With Odin on Our Side, but I think it's enough, and it's basically the peak of where Amon Amarth ever has gotten to. So.
Yeah, for me, like you were saying, that, you know, aside from all the biggest songs on this album, the ones that have been like, you know, they're just kind of like you typically filler songs, are just really good. What is it? No Fear for the Setting Sun. Free Will Sacrifice is one of my favorite Amon Amarth songs. And then, you know, I know this probably being, I would say, like, the most popular. Like, a lot of people put up there as, like, one of the best, but, you know, I think a lot of people know this album, and so you get some people that think, like, oh, well, you know, this isn't their best, and, you know, Twilight of the Thunder God's an overrated song. I just take it for what it is. It's like, from the beginning to the end, just enjoy it. It's such an easy song to enjoy. They're one of the most, like, I don't know, just biggest, most epic songs that takes you for a ride. You know, Guardians of Asgard, people, you know, I didn't think they would write another song like Pursuit of Vikings, but Guardians of Asgard so has that same kind of vibe to it sometimes. And then, you know, it's just an album full of really, really good songs, some that get overlooked, and it's my only, like, not complaint, but the only thing about this album, sometimes it's a little, to me, it's just, not, I don't want to say overproduced, but just by like a hair. Sometimes I'm like, I wish it had this raw sound, but you can't get like Twilight of the Thunder God and a raw, like, Deceiver of the Gods sound. It doesn't work together, but, you know, you take it for what it is.
Yeah, I think the thing is that this album does have, you know, their two of their biggest songs. Was like, and that's kind of like, it's really easy to overlook everything else. And whereas like With Odin on Our Side and Soda Rising, they have good songs, but they don't have like the big hits that kind of overshadow everything else. Mm-hmm. You kind of get to look at the whole album. I'm like, yeah, but like, I fucking love this album.
Guardians of Asgard riff.
Yeah,
it's over.
This album has, without a doubt, their two biggest hits, though.
Yeah.
With the title track and Guardians of Asgard. Because I'm just looking at Spotify here, too. Twilight of the Thunder God's number one with 18 million plays.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
That's it.
Guardians of Asgard is number two with 11.6 million. I thought that would be a little bit closer.
Yeah, I thought like Pursuit of Vikings or Guardians of Asgard would be number one.
Then number three, Raise Your Horns, 10.7 million.
Hmm.
Number 4, The Pursuit of Vikings, 8.7. And
What did it get 10?
number 5 is First Kill with 8 million.
Well, I think
It came out long enough that a lot of people listen to it like in other ways.
yeah. Whereas like you know,
Now it's kind of a bit of a throwback song. Sometimes.
yeah, Raise Your Horns is like that's how a lot of people listen to that album just
Yeah,
on
definitely,
Spotify. So
Definitely. Yeah. That's where the industry's moving for sure. Yeah. That's the definitive list of the fucking only order the Amon Amarth albums could go in. There's no other way.
unless you rearrange the top 3, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 4 and 5. Or honestly any of the bottom.
Or
You know what?
the-
You know what? Whatever.
There's sections.
There are tiers.
In
There are
there's-
tiers,
yeah,
yes, yeah.
for sure. There are tiers.
There are tears. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They
they
have-
have home tonight.
I believe they are supposed to have a new album out in 2018, so we'll see which tier this.
Wonder what it's
that
going
one
to be
falls
about. Maybe like a samurai or something.
What if they
Pirates.
say like fucking screw it and they start saying about different mythology?
What if they go like?
What if they go Greek? Because Kratos, whenever the Norse mythology, so they go to Greek.
What if they write a
gods.
song about Kratos? It's coming in.
Yeah,
just
War of
murdering all
the Greek gods.
War of the Greek gods.
Yeah.
Zeus.
God
Yeah,
killer.
it's a it's a
Why do they-
surprise
Yeah.
April 20th release with God of War.
Why doesn't Amon Amarth have a song called God Killer? That seems like
That's a little too harsh, man.
Nah.
It's a little too. I would get offended.
Alright, let us know what your order is. See ya.